the NBA world was thrown into chaos after shocking rumors began circulating that Rob Pelinka had taken dramatic action against LeBron James following the Los Angeles Lakers' frustrating loss to the Houston Rockets, a game that exposed serious issues within the team, including poor defense, lack of chemistry, and visible frustration from players on the court. With LeBron himself putting up solid stats but showing unusual body language that immediately caught the attention of fans and analysts. Shortly after the game, reports and social media speculation exploded with claims that tensions had boiled over inside the locker room, with heated discussions, finger-pointing, and growing pressure on leadership, placing LeBron right at the center of the storm as the face of the franchise. And that's when the most shocking rumor hit. Claims that Pelinka had actually suspended LeBron, sending fans into a frenzy across platforms, dividing opinions between those who dismissed it as impossible and those who believed something. Serious was unfolding behind closed doors, but despite the viral headlines, there has been no official confirmation of any suspension. And realistically, such a move would be extremely unlikely, given LeBron's status as one of the greatest players in basketball history and the cornerstone of the Lakers organization, suggesting instead that what fans are seeing could be internal. Team discipline, strategic rest decisions, or simply exaggerated narratives fueled by the fast-moving nature of sports media. Yet the situation still highlights real pressure building within the Lakers camp, as expectations remain sky-high, and losses like this raise deeper concerns about the roster, coaching system, and long-term competitiveness, especially as questions begin to surface about whether the team can truly contend at the highest level. While LeBron has responded in a calm but focused manner in public, emphasizing accountability and the need for improvement, making it clear that he understands the urgency of the moment, and ultimately, while the suspension rumor appears to be false, the drama surrounding the Lakers is very real. The scrutiny is intense, and with every game and every headline, the spotlight continues to grow brighter, leaving fans wondering whether this is just another overblown story or the beginning of a much bigger turning point in Los Angeles. The drama surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers continues to intensify as the fallout from their loss to the Houston Rockets refuses to die down, and even though the rumor about LeBron James being suspended by Rob Pelinka has not been officially confirmed, the conversation has now shifted into something even deeper. What is really happening behind the scenes in Los Angeles, because sources and analysts are beginning to point toward a growing disconnect between expectations and reality. A team that was built to dominate now struggling with consistency, defensive lapses, and late-game execution, raising serious concerns about leadership structure and locker room chemistry. And while LeBron remains the centerpiece of the franchise, the pressure on him is unlike anything we've seen in recent seasons, not just to perform statistically, but to hold together a roster that appears to be cracking under pressure. With younger players looking for direction, and veterans trying to find their roles in a system that hasn't fully clicked yet. And this is where speculation around disciplinary action may have been blown out of proportion, because in reality, it could simply reflect internal accountability measures. Closed-door meetings, stronger coaching demands, or even strategic lineup adjustments. But in today's social media-driven sports world, even the smallest internal issue can explode into headlines suggesting chaos. And that's exactly what seems to have happened here. Yet the timing couldn't be worse for the Lakers as the Western Conference grows more competitive, and every loss carries serious implications for playoff positioning, forcing Pelinka and the front office to evaluate whether this roster is currently constructed is capable of making a deep run or if major changes could be on the horizon, including potential trades or rotation shakeups. And at the center of it all stands LeBron, a player whose legacy continues to be debated with every performance, every win, and every loss, as critics question whether he can still carry a team at the highest level, while supporters point to his experience, basketball IQ, and ability to rise in crucial moments, making this situation not just about one game or one rumor, but about the larger narrative of a team at a crossroads, a franchise balancing between immediate success and long-term planning, and a superstar whose every move is magnified under the brightest spotlight in sports. And as the Lakers prepare for their next matchup, all eyes will be watching closely. Not just for the result on the scoreboard, but for signs of unity, response, and resilience. Because whether the suspension rumor was true or not, it has already achieved one thing. It has exposed just how fragile the current situation feels and how quickly things can escalate when expectations are sky high and results don't match the hype, leaving fans to wonder if this is simply a temporary storm or the beginning of a much larger shift within one of the NBA's most iconic franchises? As the spotlight grows even brighter on the Los Angeles Lakers, the next phase of this unfolding drama becomes even more critical because now it's not just about rumors or reactions, it's about response and how this team, led by LeBron James, answers adversity on the court, with insiders suggesting that the days following the loss to the Houston Rockets have been filled with intense film sessions, tactical adjustments, and serious conversations about accountability, as Rob Pelinka and the coaching staff evaluate every detail, from defensive breakdowns to offensive inefficiency, searching for solutions before the situation spirals further. Because in a conference this competitive, even a short losing streak can shift the entire trajectory of a season. And what makes this moment even more important is the psychological impact on the roster. As younger players are now experiencing the pressure of high expectations firsthand, while veterans are being called upon to stabilize the locker room, creating a situation where leadership must be clear and unified, something LeBron has built his career on, yet now faces one of his toughest tests, not just as a player, but as the emotional anchor of a team under scrutiny. And while critics continue to question whether age and mileage are finally becoming factors, LeBron's history suggests that counting him out is always a risky move, because time and time again, he has responded to doubt with dominant performances, making the next few games crucial not only for the standings, but for shifting the narrative. And if the Lakers can bounce back with energy, discipline, and cohesion, this entire suspension storyline could quickly fade into the background as just another exaggerated moment in the fast-moving world of sports media. But if struggles continue, then speculation will only grow louder, putting even more pressure on Pelinka and the front office to consider bold decisions, whether that means roster changes, rotation adjustments, or redefining roles within the team. And that's what makes this situation so compelling. It sits right on the edge between temporary controversy and potential turning point, where every possession, every substitution, and every post-game comment carries added weight. And as fans, analysts, and the entire NBA community watch closely, one thing becomes clear. The Lakers are now in a defining moment of their season, and how they respond will determine whether this was just noise or the beginning of something much bigger. The situation around the Los Angeles Lakers continues to escalate in terms of pressure, even as the original rumor about LeBron James being suspended remains unverified, because what matters now is not the headline itself, but the environment it has created inside the organization, where every decision by Rob Pelinka and the coaching staff is being analyzed under a microscope, and the focus has quickly shifted toward rebuilding confidence, tightening rotations, and restoring a clear identity on both ends of the floor after the disappointing loss to the Houston Rockets. A game that exposed not just tactical weaknesses, but also moments of hesitation and miscommunication that cannot exist for a team with championship expectations. And within the locker room, there is now an urgent need for leadership voices to rise, with LeBron expected to set the tone through performance, communication, and presence. Because when a team faces turbulence like this, the response of its leader often defines the direction of the entire season. And around the league, analysts are watching closely to see whether the Lakers respond with a statement performance or continue to struggle with inconsistency, especially as Western Conference rivals capitalize on every slip-up, making each upcoming game feel increasingly important. And while the media continues to amplify every rumor and reaction, internally the Lakers are reportedly focused on discipline, film corrections, and simplifying execution, reducing mistakes, improving transition defense, and regaining rhythm on offense. Because at this stage of the season, survival in the standings often comes down to small details rather than big narratives. And for LeBron, this moment also becomes another chapter in a career defined by scrutiny and comebacks, where every challenge is met with heightened expectations and every setback becomes fuel for the next performance. While for Pelinka and the front office, it is a reminder of how quickly public perception can shift in the NBA.